You're in the rant wormhole, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can become one of those people and get a rant like this by clicking that link down below. This rant was bought by Queeper, who says, Isekai as a genre label feels somewhat new, as does the trend of isekai consisting of a collection of tropes, for example, the neat otaku protagonist. But the story premise of someone being transported from contemporary society to a fantasy world is as old as Alice in Wonderland, if not older. Are 90s anime like Escaflowne, Digimon, and Inuyasha isekai, or are they in a separate genre, deserving of a different title? What about Narnia and the Wizard of Oz? I think it's fair to consider them all isekai. I think that they're all doing it for similar reasons. You could maybe create a subcategory of, like, otaku isekai, just because there's so much of it. But, like, the genre has been massively popular for a long time, and, like, elements of it are, are here and there through all kinds of shit. Like, you could look at, like, the Never-Ending Story. It's about a kid going into a book. Wait, that's not the right one. What's the one where the kid goes into the book? The book Page Master? The Page Master. I don't know why I always confuse that with Never-Ending Story. Like, you could look at, like, the Page Master that's going into a book. You could look at, like, even older isekai anime that fit the description more snugly, like Mare, M-A-R with a, like, umlaut over the A. That one's, like, a very typical kid goes into a video game world isekai shonen series from, like, the late 90s, I want to say. Like, I can remember other stories about characters getting trapped in video games going way back, even the trend of, like, what people are calling native isekai, like, even that's been a thing for a long time. Like, if you watch Ragnarok Online, the anime, it feels like what would now describe as a native isekai, so, like, I would say that the tropes have been embedded for a long time and that they haven't really changed that much. Like, it's usually a nerdy kid, whether it's Western or Eastern, who gets sucked into these stories, because it's always about escaping your mundane life and going somewhere where your unique skills make you cool. It's just that anime has done so much, like, to it. Like, they've been using it so extensively that it's become a meta joke in itself of, like, what can we send to the other world? Like, who can top the most retarded thing that you can turn up as in another world, what unique powers will you have? Like, at this point, it's more about filling out this checkbox, like this database of elements of the isekai than it is about the actual point of isekai media, But, like, it's just such a resonant idea. So maybe the pocket we're in right now, where there's, like, an insane number of isekai being made, maybe you could see it as, like, a wave or, like, a different genre in and of itself, but, like, I don't think it's so different from what's always been there. I just feel like the genre, the idea, even, like, Harry Potter has elements of it where, he's kind of whisked away to another world. Like, it's very pervasive. It kind of means the same thing every time. It's just about what they do in the other world, or how that symbolizes. Like, and it can symbolize so many different things. Like, anime, again, has taken this and run with it as far as it possibly can. Like, coming up with all kinds of different themes to explore. The difference between, say, the stupid one with the girl with the eyes, who's a Japanese salaryman, Yojo Senki. Like, something like that, the ideology of that versus, like, Outbreak Company. It's, like, almost opposite, It's, like, just all these different ways of, like, how can the nerd otaku interact with another world? Like, what can it mean? What can they do? What is there to explore? Like, and some of them are just straight up generic, like How Not to Summon a Demon Lord is basically, like, just, like, if somebody wrote down a description of what is it that isekai stories are meant to offer, and then somebody just wrote an isekai story by that definition, you would get that show, So I guess it's getting bad, or it's gotten bad. It's been bad for a while. But there is a lot of good isekai, and, like, I don't know, there's something interesting to me about the thought of just, like, pulverizing an idea. Like, taking something and just running through every possibility of it till it's done, And I think that's kind of what happens with a lot of genres, is that they just get taken and run with, and people come up with every idea they have on how to handle that genre, and then they just run out of ideas, And like you see this happen all the time in the music world where different subgenres just become all the rage for a while. And it's like you're listening to rock radio and all of a sudden it's grunge, and then later it's new metal, and then later it's emo, and it's just like this is all the radio sounds like for a little while. It's mega popular, and like people find a way to make it sound different or to follow in all these different things, and then it quiets down, and then the only people doing it are either people who are like that's all they listen to and that's all they want to perform, or they've found another way to make it different and new, and they come back to it later. But like, you know, those are the only ways that it'll be after the bubble has burst of it being pop. So Isekai may be tried and true and around forever, but this current version of it where it's let's send every otaku to another world, like the buck has to stop somewhere. People will get sick of it. People will not want to watch, you know, that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and then so now I'm a spider, so what? And then I got reincarnated as a, what was it, like a fucking vending machine? One of them, at some point, people are going to want that to slow down. And I hope it's soon. Sincerely.